Hey beautiful people, what is up and welcome back to my channel and welcome to another first impressions video because guys, we have a new release from Fantasy Cosmetica. You already know how I feel about Fantasy Cosmetica. It is what it is. Just giving y'all that disclaimer. I have a little bitty bit of a bias because I really enjoy their products. I also do receive their products in PR and I am an affiliate with the brand. So when you shop or you purchase their products and you use my discount code, I get a kickback. So, you know, transparency. You know how we do it over here. But before we dive into the video, if this is your first time watching me, welcome. I'm Jamila, and on my little corner of the interwebs, I like to share all the tips and tricks and, you know, scams, just kidding, all the ways that I know how to save on high-end luxury and indie beauty products, because I personally don't believe in paying full price for makeup, and I don't think you should have to. So if that sounds like a cup of tea, if that tickles your pickle, if that seems like something you might be interested in, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and join the fam. All right, now that I'm done jiggling, let's get into what this release is. So you guys already know how I like to do things over here. For my first impressions releases, what I like to do is start off with some product details, dive into some swatches. I think I'm going to end up popping up these swatches as I'm going through the product details. And then I like to dive into a couple of looks. I'm actually going to be doing 3 for you guys because I've had this palette for some time, which I really appreciated having the extra time to sit down and do more than one look. So I did have it for about a week, I would say. So I've been playing with it. So I have 3 looks for you guys. And then I'm going to come back and give you guys my overarching thoughts at the end. It still is going to be a first impressions. Even though I've tried it 3 times, I'm still considering this a first impressions video. So product details. If you guys are unfamiliar with Fantasy Cosmetica, they are a small indie brand whose sort of theme or niche really focuses on fantasy. So you'll see that a lot of their products, a lot of their palettes, I should say, are based off of fantasy people things. So they've had the druid palette, the fighter palette, the warlock palette, all of those things. I'm not in the fantasy world, so I don't feel a connection to the brand in that way, but I will say that I do think that their color stories have been beautiful, and I think the formula has been really nice. So this is the newest addition to the fantasy lineup, and it is the wizard palette. So here we have the wizard palette. This is what the packaging looks like, and I'm just going to open it up so you guys can see the color story. So beautiful. Now it does come with a sleeve, which is the exact copy of the palette, so you don't need to keep both. And then on the back of the palette, it has the details in terms of what it is. It's a pigment palette, so if you're sensitive to pigments, keep that in mind. It has all of the individual ingredients, and then it has the shelf life and that it is cruelty free. So this does have a 12-month shelf life. It does say it's not tested on animals. It's distributed from Washington, but it's made in China. So those are the details that are on the back of the palette. Now, as we dive into the swatches, which I will pop up, I want to tell you guys a little bit more about the collection. So wizards are spellcasters and researchers who study for many years to learn magic. They spend their lives reading and collecting books, compiling knowledge to better understand the world around them. This collection will launch February 16th at 9 a.m. PST. The Wizard collection includes an eyeshadow palette, a highlighter palette, and a perfume. The palettes are magnetic and the eyeshadows will be sold as singles. The products are vegan and were not tested on animals. So the palette will retail for $38.99. The highlighter palette will retail for $29.99. If you wanted to purchase a single matte shadow, it'll be $4.99. If you wanted to purchase a single duo or multi-chrome shadow, it will be $9.99. And if you wanted to purchase the single holochrome shadow, it will be $18.99. So those are the palette details. You should have seen swatches for that as I was talking about it, but I did want to show you guys the palette again. This Graviturgy. This, I was saying gravity. This Graviturgy shade is the holographic shade. So this is the holographic shade. And then we have these sort of multi-chrome / duochrome shades. And then we have 2, 3, 5 mattes. So we have 5 mattes, 1 holographic, and then 3 multi-chrome / duochrome shades. Just kind of depends. Some of these aren't super duper shifty, but this is the palette. Then, as you heard, this collection also includes a highlighter palette. So the highlighter palette has 3 shades. There is no mirror in here, so it's just the 3 shades. And you should be seeing swatches, or should have seen swatches of the highlighter palette as well. And then the final product in this collection is the fragrance. This is something that Fantasy Cosmetica started doing a while back, and I think it makes them really, really unique as a brand. And that is essentially every eyeshadow that they release has a complimentary fragrance. So this is the Wizard fragrance. And sorry, you guys, the sun is sunning today, which I'm not mad at. You guys know I prefer to film in natural lighting, but it does create some weirdness. So this is the Wizard fragrance. These bottles are hand painted. I just wanted to point that out because I do think it's a very unique personal touch for the brand. And it does come in a couple different sizes. So about the fragrance. The Wizard perfume is inspired by laying in the grass and admiring the night sky. It's a refreshing grass and wood scent with citrus accents. The fragrance is made in Redmond, Washington, US, and the bottles are hand painted. So like I said, this does come in a couple different sizes. If you just wanted to sample it because you weren't sure if you wanted to commit, it's going to be $2.29 for a 1 milliliter sample. If you wanted to get the next size up is the 10 milliliter, which comes as either a rollerball or a spray. Only the sprays can be purchased. Only the rollerball, the coconut oil rollerball, can be purchased worldwide. The sprays are only available if you live in the US. So if you wanted to try this out and you're not living in the US, you would have to either buy the sample or the rollerball. So the rollerball is going to be $16.99 for that 10 milliliters. And if you are in the US, you can get the spray, which is also going to be $16.99. If you wanted to get the full size, this is 30 milliliters and it's $32.99. Now this bottle actually looks quite similar to the Sorcerer bottle. So we have Wizard Sorcerer. So I had a little bit of a hard time looking it up. And let me tell you guys about the notes because I think that's the most important part, right? So the top notes are lemongrass, citrus, and marine notes. The heart are grass, bamboo, green leaves, and lavender. And the base is dark musk, cedar, sage, and moss. So like the description says, you're rolling around in grass all day. Now, I have a thing for the Fantasy Cosmetica fragrances, and let me just say, this one's not my fave. I'm not going to let you guys wait till the end of the video. And the reason why this one's not my fave is because I feel like it's very distinctly masculine. One of the things I like about Fantasy Cosmetica fragrances is that they tether that line between being feminine and masculine. And as someone who doesn't like the overly fruity, food-based, super hyper feminine scents, I appreciate that sometimes it's a little bit ambiguous and it leans a little bit more masculine. This is too masculine. I feel like this crossed the line from tethering between feminine and masculine to being a very, very masculine scent. I felt like I smelled like a whole hardback man. And not in like the gross sense, but as in like, I would buy this for my partner. I would buy this for my dad. I would not wear this on my own. And it's nice. It definitely smells like grass though. So like, and then the citrus kind of comes up, but it smells like grass. I don't know. I'm not selling the fragrance very well, and that's because I don't like it. For me. Just to be clear, for me. If you have a husband, a babe, you know what, Valentine's Day coming up, if you have a little boo thing that likes super masculine scents, or, you know, you have a dude, or whatever, if you like masculine scents, I'm not doing this a good job, but I'm just going to say it's not a fragrance to me. And this isn't the first Fantasy Cosmetica fragrance I haven't liked. There's the other one that has a strong chocolate note to it, and I'm somebody that doesn't eat chocolate, doesn't like chocolate. So this is the second Fantasy Cosmetica fragrance that I have not been in love with. But just something I wanted to point out in case you guys are interested in trying it out. And now it's on my hand and I have to smell it all day. I like the grass smell, but it really does smell like a hardback man. It's a no for me. Okay. Let's dive into the demos and then we'll come back and I'll tell you guys my final thoughts.
I just lost my mind. Now I'm losing time. Can't sleep at night. So cold, baby. You say you love me, then you hate me. How do I let it happen? You build me up and tear me into tiny pieces every single time. You've got me all tied up. You've got your hands around my throat. You've got me in over my head. I'm drowning in the undertow. I've got my fingers crossed. I'm begging, baby, let me go. You've got this captivating touch that's got me coming back for more, more. Your eyes cut like a knife, piercing through mine, leaving me blind. So cold, baby. You got me prisoned, I'm your slave. I gotta give it to you. You got a knack for breaking hearts and breaking spirits slowly over time. You got me all tied up. You've got your hands around my throat. You've got me in over my head. I'm drowning in the undertow. I've got my fingers crossed. I'm begging, baby, let me go. You've got this captivating touch that's got me coming back for more. I'm crying out for help. Do you hear me screaming? Lying on the floor, hanging from the ceiling now. Are you gonna let me down? You caught up in my heart. Every time it's healing, can't deny the pain. But gotta love the feeling. How are you gonna save me now? You got me all tied up. You've got your hands around my throat. You've got me in over my head. I'm drowning in the undertow. I've got my fingers crossed. I'm begging, baby, let me go. You've got this captivating touch that's got me coming back for more. I'm crying out for help. Do you hear me screaming? Lying on the floor, hanging from the ceiling now. Are you gonna let me down? You caught up in my heart. Every time it's healing, can't deny the pain. But gotta love the feeling. How are you gonna save me now?
Okay, let's get this second look started. I'm not gonna lie, I'm concerned. The mattes in this palette are a little light, with the exception of these two. So on my complexion, okay. But let's start with this yellow shade. So the yellow is called Spellbook, and we're gonna attempt to use this as a transition shade. I mean, this just turned white. Okay.
Now that you're gone,
This ain't working out for me. 'Cause it just turns white. Okay, we're just gonna keep going and adjust on the fly.
now that you're gone, I'm slowly getting used to reciprocity. But sometimes my heart is cool with mediocrity.
Okay, now that we've put ash on the eyes, we're gonna go into the blue shade. That is called Incantation. I don't know if I told you guys, but the first shade is called Spellbook. The second shade, Incantation, equally light, and I'm gonna put that at the bottom. I honestly don't know how this is turning out, but I'm trying. This is a little disappointing because the 3 mattes in this are quite light. Well, the 3 of the 5 mattes are quite light. So if you have a deeper complexion, you're not gonna be in love. You're not gonna be excited. I'll just say that. This is just... Oh, yeah.
My common sense is caught up with my confidence, but my wicked heart still...
I'm not attempting to make this look bad, I promise. And lastly, I'm going to go into the deep purple shade. That is called Intellect, and I am going to put that into the... Now that is rich in pigment. So I'm going to put that into the outer V and blend that into the first two shades. See what kind of blend we're going to get. And now looking at this palette, I think what I should have done was gone dark to light in terms of my application. Because there's no real transition shade for my complexion. Yeah, I think I should have started with the dark and then use the other two light shades to blend it out.
I miss you, so I hold on, and it feels right, and it feels wrong, 'cause I love you.
I'm also getting some patchiness.
I'm happy, 'cause you're happy, but my heart lies, and I found the truth. I'm better.
Okay. It's definitely not their best quality.
So I hate it that I love you. I've heard the lies, I've heard the truth. I've seen you mad, you've seen me mad too. We know it's wrong.
I don't know what's going on with this eye, but it's not looking great. This one doesn't look horrible. Okay, I mean, I think I take it back, but like overall, would it be cheating if I went into another palette? Because I don't know if I can wear this.
I'm better without you, but I hate lies and I love truth, so I hate it.
Like, I genuinely don't know if I can justify this on the eyes. So I'm going back into the first, not even the first shades, but I'm taking the blending brush that had those first two shades on there, and I'm trying to blend that initial shade down to soften this up a little bit, because as you can see, it's very, very stark against my skin tone. And I'm not a fan. Not a fan at all. Like, a lot of me wants to reach into another palette, because this ain't it, y'all. This is not it. I'm gonna try to keep going. What I wanted to do was to put the middle shade all over the lid, and that's just that yellow. Let's just go for it. I'm just gonna stick with what I originally had planned.
But I know what it isn't. Begging me to listen. Say you learned your lesson. Swearing on your mother they were minor indiscretions. If you could go back, you would change it in a second. So what the you were drinking? Lost in blurry vision. 'Cause we both know the vodka didn't put you in the linens. Strangers to lovers and under a minute.
Okay, so I'm just gonna take a brush, start cleaning up the edges here.
The proof's in your lies and your toxic decisions. Temptation crept in, it didn't take much convincing. I'm not sure what love is, but I know what it isn't. But I know what it isn't.
Okay, now I genuinely wish I could muster up the courage to spend the rest of my day looking like this, but I cannot. So I'm going to try to fix this as best as I can. So, since we kind of already went into that blue, and this is the Rogue palette from Fantasy Cosmetica. I had to find another palette, y'all. I can't work with those mattes. So I'm taking that blue shade called Stealth, and I'm kind of popping it over the original shade.
Proof's in your lies and your toxic decisions. Temptation crept in, it
Now this one is also pretty light, but you can see that it is deepening it up.
I know what it isn't.
So we're getting a little bit more depth.
I'm not sure what love is, but I know what it isn't.
I wasn't expecting to fail so hard today. Wow. And then I'm gonna go into that deep teal right underneath it called Cunning. And I'm gonna put that right above.
I just lost my mind. Now I'm losing time. Can't sleep at night. So cold, baby.
I look crazy. Jesus. Okay, this is essentially what we have. Is it good? No. Do I have the time to wipe off and start over? No. So this is what we're going to be working with today. I'm going to go ahead, finish up the rest of my face off camera, and then I'll come back and show you guys the final look with this palette.
Baby, let me go. You've got this captivating touch that's got me coming back for more, more.
Okay, so this is the full face. This is some of the worst work that I have done. And you guys saw when I was applying the eyeshadow that I had to go into another palette because the dust. I tried my best. I really did try my best with this look. I'm gonna do one more look for you guys. So this should be a 3-look video. And then I'll come back and give you guys just sort of my first impressions, thoughts on the palette so far. But yeah, this is the final look, and this was as best as I could get it, y'all. So please don't roast me in the comments now. Just take it easy. Give me a bly, cause I tried. Okay, so we're back and we're gonna get started on the third and final look. I'm gonna start by going into the dark purple shade again, which is very different from how I typically apply eyeshadow. You guys know I'm a transition and then deepen up kind of gal, but considering that didn't work last time, we're going backwards. So I'm starting with the dark shade, and I'm gonna put that into the outer corner. Oh, that's a lot. And just gonna blend that slightly. Now, going from dark to light is not a technique that I am super familiar with, so I'm very scared about how this is gonna turn out, but I did want to try it this way because that last look was not it, y'all. Not it.
Hands around my throat. You've got me in over my head.
So again, I'm just patting that into the outer V and kind of blending that lightly across and up. I don't want to take it too far up because of how rich this shade is, because I want to go in with one of the lighter mattes and use that to blend out the edges to create a gradient.
I'm crying out for help. Do you hear me screaming? Lying on the floor, hanging from the ceiling now. Are you gonna let me down? Are you gonna let me down? You caught up in my heart every time it's
And then going in with Incantation, which honestly is the deepest of those light mattes, and the only one I can really use very well. And I am going to actually start by putting that on top of the dark shade and then working my way up. That's definitely a better blend.
I wanna let you in.
the trick is to just go slow. I'm saying the trick like I'm giving y'all tips and tricks here, but I'm just telling y'all what I'm doing as someone who does not know how to do makeup professionally. This is me trying to get this to work for me, going in a, you know, using a different technique than I'm used to. One thing I will say is that the shades are blending really nicely to create that softer gradient. So as I'm applying the lighter blue, it is getting darker because of the deep blue underneath it, and as I blend out, we're getting a nice little transition. Going back in with my brush that had that first purple shade. I'm not adding any more product, but I'm just blending and dragging out the wing a little bit. Okay, not mad at this. This is looking pretty good. Now, the only shimmer we haven't used is this one here, which is called Graviturgy. Ooh, that's smooth. Oh, that is pretty. Is this a holochrome? I'm sorry, I did not look at any of these. I think this is a holochrome. Wow. Okay, so let's go ahead and... Oh, that's pretty. I'm just gonna put this all over the lid. Yep, we're doing one shimmer today. Who am I? My life is a prison, and I wanna let you in. I just sold my colors, paint a pretty picture. 'Cause I want nothing more than us to be together. Okay, you guys see the vision. I'm gonna go ahead, apply, we'll finish up this eye look, clean everything up, apply the rest of my face, and then I'll come back and show you guys the final look. And every color seems to fall into my world. In love with the girl who makes it easier to say. My life is a prison, and every color paints the miracle I live. My life is a prison, and I wanna let you in. And I wanna let you in, yeah. I wanna let you in. I wanna let you in, yeah. I wanna let you in. Okay, so we're back, and this memory card has exactly 4 minutes, so this is gonna be quick and easy. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing my first impressions, thoughts on the new Fantasy Cosmetica palette. I hope you enjoyed seeing how I apply the shadows. Let me just tell you guys really quickly how I feel about each of the products. I'm not going to be able to do this in 3 minutes. But essentially, for the eyeshadow palette, I think it's really nice. But I do want to say that these mattes are too light for my complexion. While I can make them work, it is a little bit of a struggle. And at best, I can only make the light blue work here, but not these two other very light shades. They turn out to be very dusty, very ashy on me. Everything else I think is absolutely superb. I think it performs well, it blends well, it builds well, no issues. But the dusty mattes, it's going to be a no for me. It's just too light for me. And this is probably the first time I've really experienced that with the Fantasy Cosmetica palette. The highlighter palette is really, really beautiful. These are just not shades that I'm going to be wearing very much. But I do think that these could create a very nice ethereal eyeshadow look. So I feel like I might play around with these as more of eyeshadow than highlighters, because they're a bit much for me in terms of it being a colored highlighter. I'm hella basic, you guys. But overall, I don't think it's too stark. It's just not something that I'm going for. And then finally, the fragrance. It's just too masculine for me. So this is not one that I would recommend picking up if you are someone that prefers a more feminine type of scent. So in like closing, I don't think that this is necessarily the collection for me. I'm not saying it's a bad collection. I just don't think that it hits all of the things that I wanted it to. And I think that there are just certain things that don't work well with either my complexion or my aesthetic. So It's not the one that I would recommend you guys go for first. It's not bad by any means, but it's just not the collection for me. So now I want to know from you guys, are you interested in this? Are you thinking about picking it up? What are your thoughts? Leave that all down in the comments below. If you haven't already done so, I'd absolutely love if you would consider subscribing, joining the fam. Of course, leave your orange hearts if you don't know what to comment, because that also really helps me out a lot. As always, I want to thank you guys so much for watching, for supporting. It means so much to me. I appreciate you all so much more than you know, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye.